Hey everybody, it's Lacey,
And I'm Lauren.
and welcome to another episode of the Llamas Podcast.
And so today we're going to be discussing some local cases and
Or
criminal
local
stuff.
ties.
Yes, that Lacey is aware of. But next week we are going to talk about America's Next Top Model and the documentary. So if you are and some of the legal perspectives from it, because that was kind of brushed over very quickly in the documentary. But if you watch our podcast and want to be up to date for next week, make sure you watch. And it's only 3 episodes, so it's really, I think, about an hour each. But if you're like me and Lacey, you probably watched this back on the CW in the day. So, like, I did see some memes floating around, like, you can't have opinions on this unless you watch this on the CW back in the day. And I feel like that's legit because
Yeah.
it was a different time.
Yeah.
And it really was body images. I know we've discussed this before, but
hmm
just different world. So watch that so you can get with us next week. But I did want to ask Lacey a question today, and I have not told her this before. And I just want to know how does it impact you as a criminal defense attorney when, like, I guess allegations come out in the court of, like, I guess we see in so many celebrity cases. Honestly, in asking this question, I was thinking about the Epstein files, but we're not going there yet. We don't know if we're going to go there. But just like there may be names on that list that truly did nothing wrong, but I'm just saying, like, they said, like, Adam Sandler was on it, not because he did anything wrong, but because his agent, blah, 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 blah. But, like, in the court of public opinion, these people can be crucified before there's ever a trial or before real evidence comes out. So, how do you feel about, like, in criminal defense, we are innocent until proven guilty. So, how is it hard for you in that line to public opinion versus the legal side of things and how all of that works out?
Well, it's not just public opinion, honestly, it's the prosecutors too. I think most prosecutors enter every single case with, okay, not have we proven this? Is there enough proof in this case when I open this file? I think they open this file and say, okay, this person is guilty. What do I need to offer? So I don't think it's just public opinion. I actually think that's how our entire justice system, it's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, but it's not. And remember, we briefly talked about the Epstein files before and whether we thought they should be released. And I had said I had some hesitation because what if there are names or information that isn't true and it comes out? And I just don't think, sorry, just going to say it, I just don't think we as a society have enough intellect to grasp everything and do independent research and listen to people who know more about these things than we do to get the full story to form our opinions. We jump to certain sides. A lot of us only focus on certain media avenues. We're not looking at everything, in forming a basis. When we went to college, we were taught look at your sources, where your sources come from, your biases, look at multiple sources. We had to do all these things before we formed our opinion in our papers that we were going to, write. And we don't do that as a society. And
Well, I don't think our journalists do that nearly as
no.
much anymore either. Like,
And we were
news
talking
is
about,
divisive.
yeah, and we were talking, I was talking to Mark, we went for a walk on Friday, and he was talking about how these kids, because he's a teacher, need instant gratification or instant answers. Like there's no patience. And I said, I kind of noticed that with my clients lately. If I don't give an instant response, I could get a bad Google review, or I'm getting a not nice email or text. And it's because I was working on other cases that I have court for that may take priority, or I'm in court, that instant response isn't there. But we as a society are used to having things be so instant. So I think when things come up in the news or whatever on Facebook, people want to form that instant opinion. They don't want to, and this is, what I've been taught in therapy, sit back and listen, get feedback, read, and then form your opinion. You don't have to have that instant gut, okay, this is what I think, this is what I'm going to do. But I just think because of social media and because of the internet and how fast paced our world is right now. I worry that with the Epstein files, and I know, with public opinion, everybody wants to form it in an instant, just an arrest. Oh, they're guilty. I can't tell you how many times I've seen comments on news articles, and I know way more about the case than they do, and it's terrible. And we have to screenshot these comments because they're potential jurors if this case goes to trial, but just one allegation, they think automatically they're guilty. As a matter of fact, just this morning, I was telling Mac I had to go to the jail today because I was going to help people get out and get back home, and he really struggles with that. He loves police officers, and first off, he said police don't take people to jail, they take bad guys. And he doesn't understand that that is the same. Like, bad guys don't equal a person to him yet at this age. He's only 4, But when I was talking about, getting people out of jail, he's like, why do you do that? And I said, because they need to get home to their families, but also sometimes police officers make mistakes. And that's, it's up to me to show those things. And it is. It's up to me to show it. It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be the burden on the state to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, but it's not. It's not. I got an offer one time, and I emailed the prosecutor back a synopsis of the body cams, and only then did he go watch the body cams and then dismiss the case. He didn't watch the body cams before making an offer, and I think most of our prosecutors don't. I think most of our prosecutors go by a synopsis and an incident report and then just toss us an offer. And I feel like that's how society is. They get a synopsis of a news article of an arrest. They're already guilty. Let's move on. So I do worry, like I said, about the Epstein files being released because, yes, I do think that it should be released in the fact that we should know who's on it. And I believe the victims should be able to get justice for that. At the same time, I agree, like Lauren said, you was saying with Adam Sandler, I think there could be some names on there and their involvement is not really that much. Maybe their mention is something so far off from what actually was happening. And I don't know that society has we can have the intellect. We're just choosing to not use it in taking in that information.
Well, like with all this stuff, it can ruin your career. Even if you are found innocent, it can ruin your career. And I watched the show Wednesday on Netflix, the first season. I haven't watched the second. But like one of the main guys on there, I think he got an allegation of sexual abuse against somebody. Well, it turns out that was in like inaccurate. The girl just said it, kind of thing. But because it's ruined his career, he was young and upcoming. So like, and we even see the damage it did. We've talked about this before to Johnny Depp, and granted, he came back from it, and I think we all realized that was not all him, and he did donate to Eric Dane's family and all this stuff.
I saw that.
Yeah.
What a 2026 we've had.
I know it is very sad with Catherine O'Hara killed me, James Vanderbeek, and then Robert Duvall died, but like he was 90 years old. He was an
Right.
expected death. It's sad, but
Yeah.
but then right after that, Eric Dane, and I don't know if you watch the show, but there's a show Euphoria. Eric Dane plays one of the characters on it. He plays Jacob Elordi's dad on the show, and he actually filmed his scenes for that before his death, and it will not air probably till this summer. So that is going to be a cry fest for me watching
Oh,
him
I bet.
in that, knowing that he did this. And
Yeah.
his wasn't like, I guess, like he knew from the get go he wasn't gonna make it and still wanted to go do his final scenes and stuff.
I'll just get cold chills. Well, switching gears to the topic today. So me and Lauren covered, true crime stories, things that happen that we see. And one of these cases I'm going to tell you is in the news, but it has a connection here to South Carolina and to my cousin. But sometimes true crime stories find you and they're, have local aspects to it. So I don't know, Lauren. Do you want the funny one first? Or it's kind of funny but kind of gross. The other one is kind of like your run-of-the-mill true crime story.
Also, if y'all see me drinking, if you watch this, yes, this is a wine glass, but it also keeps coffee hot. So it is coffee. It is not wine. It is my morning caffeine.
They don't know it's the morning. They could have thought that it's 5 o'clock, and it's 5 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, Lauren. All right. Do you want funny,
Let's
gross,
do
or run of the mill first?
let's do funny gross.
Okay. So I was on TikTok, and an attorney friend of mine, Allie Benevento, she's with a Strom law firm, but follow her on TikTok if y'all want to. I know she's covering a lot of stuff on the Luigi guy that killed the insurance guy. So, anyways, she was leaving court here in Richland, and she just said sometimes, real life is way more entertaining than TV. So, there was a guy, it was not her client. And I don't know if he was pleading to it or if there was just emotion on it. So, I don't know if these facts are like a factual basis for a plea or these are allegations. But regardless, she said she was in court for some boring motions, and this man was of Eastern European descent. He was there for breach of peace, high and aggravated nature. So what happened is he was working. He's here on a work visa, and he went to a gas station. I'm assuming to get a hot dog or something like in and out, but one of the condiments he wanted was out. Mustard, ketchup, something. She didn't know, but he got really upset about this. So he made a scene. I guess the clerk maybe went back and forth or something, but it escalated. So he got so mad, he went to the condom aisle and he busted open a box of condoms, took out a condom, and swirled it around in the onion juice by the hot dogs and then left it hanging over the counter. So he was then arrested, of course, for breach of peace, high and aggravated nature, for swirling a condom when he was mad about the condiments. And so now he's going to be deported. Like,
I
these
mean,
are
that
things.
sucks for like it's sad because like that was I get it. Like it could have
How do
been
you
a
get that
really
mad
hard
over that?
well, like I get it though. Like it's a really hard day and you've got that hot dog and you really want that mustard and it's not there. Like I probably would not have had the same approach as him, but I probably would have gotten my car and that could have been one of those moments I was like crying or something because I get it. I feel like that's not when you said he went to the condom aisle and took out, I thought we were going somewhere way different with that. So I'm glad all he did. I don't understand why he picked that to swirl around in the. I would have probably like got some ketchup or something and made a mess, but at least I
Things like that. Like,
I guess he was like I feel like this probably had been a really rough day. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, and this had been a really rough day, and we were just like done, and that was the straw that broke the camel's back. And but I hate it because I really don't feel like that's a reason to be deported. Like
well, I don't have as much empathy as you. Usually I do, but for me, I think that's ridiculous. You're an adult throwing a toddler tantrum when you're here on a work visa and you know that people are getting deported for even an arrest, and you're going to go and act like that and get a condom and swirl it in onion juice. That's why you're getting deported, because you swirled a condom in onion juice.
I guess I just feel like I've had those days and I'm like better at controlling my anger, but like I get it. Like when you have had it now granted he could have just be easily pissed off and did this no matter what. But I get when you're like up to here and that was just the final straw type thing. I get it. I feel sorry for him being deported for that because if that's all he's ever done wrong in his life, we all have a bad day kind of thing. Um I do feel sorry for him, but I get it. I
And
will
he should
say
get deported, but you should have acted better, especially knowing everything.
so we have I think I don't know if it's a client in our case or somehow associated with our case, but this had nothing to do with us. This was like in a divorce situation. This was just a story that we've been told. So take it with a grain of salt. But supposedly this one person was charged with assault and battery
Hmm.
because he threw a ham sandwich at somebody else. Like it was like his wife's lover and he got pissed off and they were like at a restaurant and he saw him and he was eating a ham sandwich and he threw the ham sandwich in his face so he got charged with assault for that.
That's ridiculous.
So I mean like I think we
But
all
I
just
can understand that a little more.
that's your hut, that's the lover, like that's like a he
Yeah.
But you don't know, that hot dog could have been the only good thing in his day. I
I
can
mean,
see
if
my
it were
husband.
Luke, if it were my son, that's all he eats. I guess.
Look, my husband loves a good hot dog. Like, that is his favorite food. So I could see, like, granted, I don't think he'd be that stupid, but I could see him mumbling curse words under his breath and, like,
Oh,
just leaving
God.
the store sad and angry. So that was the highlight of that man's day. And now he's getting deported.
Well, please tell Wes that if he ever goes and gets a hot dog and they're out of the condiments he prefers, not to swirl a condom in onion juice because it will lead to a 10-year misdemeanor.
That is so excessive for that.
Well, I could be wrong. Go listen to the TikTok. I can say
I'll
I
go
want to
listen.
say that
No,
like at some point the feds got involved because they thought that maybe he was HIV positive as well, and this being a public.
but what did that have to do if there was
I
no.
swear I heard that in the TikTok. I could be making it up. Go listen. But anyways,
But like, even if he is HIV positive, if he wasn't like cutting himself and
true.
bleeding, what does it matter? I mean, like, unless he was like, "Ooh, put my blood on it, what does it matter?"
So Lauren thinks this should have been regular breach of peace, a 30-day misdemeanor, and Mr.
And
Whomever
has
this
to
is.
pay for the onions.
Never would I think you would have more empathy for me in situations as this, but this one is tugging at Lauren's heartstrings. So,
Yes, it is
Allie, if you
good.
know who the prosecutor is in this case, please let us know because Lauren wants to write a letter of
Let it
recommendation.
justify on his defense. Like, I get it. That hot dog was make or break.
Let us know who his lawyer is because Lauren's coming in with the mitigation. So, oh gosh. Moving on a little more, I don't know, serious, but did you see about this guy named Caleb Flynn being arrested and he was a former contestant on American Idol?
I think I saw an article, but I didn't read it, so I don't know anything about it.
So, for those of you that my cousin Paige is from the upstate, she used to work at this company, and when she went on her lunch break, she would go to the gym. And so she texted me last week about this. So she texted me, well, she called me, and she said that she got these screenshots where Kayla Flynn was arrested. Well, when she worked at this company and took her lunch breaks, there was this guy at the gym, and it was Caleb Flynn, and she said that he would just be working out when her and her friends were working out, and I guess they made like small talk and stuff. And he had said he was from Ohio, and she said, "Do you have any family or anything?" He said, "No, just me." And I think he was probably hitting on her. She didn't say those words, but I bet he was. Paige is very beautiful. She's very fit. So yeah, so her and her friends went back that day and they were able to like look him up on Facebook or something. And he had a whole family. He had a wife, he had kids, and he had just lied and said he was here by himself and didn't have anybody. So after that, they just kind of stayed their distance. Well, he was also like some type of like youth minister or associate minister
Great.
at a church in the upstate. So at that time, Paige's brother and his now ex-wife, but wife at the time, were looking at different churches. They were looking at the church he went to. So Paige was like, "Hey," told Jennifer, Kevin's wife at the time, just so you know, like, heads up about this guy, may not want to get too close and comfy with him. So she's like, okay, so Jennifer listens to True Crime Podcasts, and she's the one that came across the article where he was arrested. So, and she sent it to Paige. So I guess they ended up moving back to Ohio. And somewhere in here, he did audition for American Idol. I think I read somewhere like his little clip was like, "I just love my wife and love Jesus. My wife is the most beautiful person I know." And so he has now been arrested and charged with her murder. He
That was not where I thought you were gonna say he's like got arrested for polygamy or something. I was
no.
not thinking we were going there.
They moved back to Ohio, and I don't know what he was doing for work. I read that she was a substitute teacher and volleyball coach, but apparently he said that there was an intruder, that he was laying on the couch because he didn't feel good or something. and somebody broke into the home, didn't kill him, didn't shoot the kids, just went straight to the bedroom and fired shots at her. She had 2 or 3 gunshot wounds to her head and then left. And so he called 911 and said that there was an intruder, there was a home invasion. I don't know how long they investigated the case, but eventually they ended up charging him with her murder and for tampering with evidence or contaminating a crime scene, something like that. So he is now, I don't know if he's out yet. They did give him a bond. They set bond at $2 million. Very high bond. So
It
I don't
is
know if he's.
high, but he doesn't deserve bond. You murdered your wife. Like,
But this is ease. You're proving my point. And the first question you asked me, you're jumping to conclusion. As
what?
what I
Okay,
would
okay,
say.
but you told me facts surrounding this. What investigator?
This is true.
Like,
The
what?
investigators
Not,
don't know what I know. And so we don't know what they know.
but, like, here's the thing. Like, what burglar or whoever, unless it is a true crime of passion and we find out she was having an affair and he found out she was married or blah, blah, blah. But I mean, like, for one, like 90% of the time it's the spouse in these situations, just statistics. But two, you're not going to break into somebody's. If you wanted to just kill her, I don't think you would intrude into somebody's house. I think you would like find her at her car after work.
Yeah.
Like, and honest, okay, if you're, I don't know, if somebody's breaking into my house and I hear a gunshot go off, I'm going to pull the gun and shoot them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to let them walk out if I think they
Yeah.
just killed my husband.
It's what I'm curious. I'm definitely gonna have to follow it just because of its connection with the upstate and with Paige. But yeah.
Well,
So
tell
that was
Paige it's good. She looked him up on Facebook and
right.
saw all of that and didn't go
Mhm.
on a date with him or anything like that. Like,
She said that night she couldn't really sleep. She said it just gave her a lot of anxiety. Um, she said her roommate didn't really understand that, but I mean, I can kind of get that because, like she said too, like, how did your life end up that way? If you really did do it, how did that, like, that's sad that that's what you thought you needed to accomplish for whatever reason. If you're seeing somebody else or you were unhappy in your marriage, like, how pathetic it is that you let your life get to that point. Um, and now kids don't have their dad, they don't have their mom. So
they're
she just had
gonna,
all these thoughts swirling in her head.
we have these poor children because their dad's gonna go to jail forever. Like, and then who's gonna raise them? Like, I mean, there may be family, but what if there's no
Mhm.
family to
Now,
step in?
I will say what I read. He sounded very distraught on the 911 call, and his defense lawyer came out with a statement and said something like, with how fast these charges came, he didn't believe that there was a thorough investigation, and that a lot of times, in these cases, they automatically jump to the spouse instead of doing a thorough investigation. And I will
Did
say
this
we saw
happen
that in our
at
book.
night? Was this at night?
I believe so.
Okay, I'm just like, so you weren't in the bed with your wife?
He
Like,
said he was sick, so he was sleeping on the couch.
well, how did this person get in? I guess I want to see a layout of the house. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know. Like, to me, that, like, and then also, I guess you told me this backstory before
this
this
is true. I
that,
did.
like, he's trying to cheat on his wife.
And it makes you wonder if the investigators like found something along those lines.
Right. Like, that they knew he
Mhm.
was, or somebody came forward and said, hey, I was having an affair with him. Like, and he was telling me he was going to leave his wife. I'm going to go down a rabbit hole, but
Okay.
divorce is a sin. And if you are a minister, you're no longer going to be a minister if you get divorced. But a widower is free
Yeah.
to move on. I mean, if we're going to go conspiracy theories, and that could have been his way out, thinking he wasn't going to get caught.
And I will say this, it makes it worse in looking at him possibly being guilty for this. And like I said, I'm going to follow it because I want to know more too. I'm interested. So, keep listening. But I don't know who the text was to, but apparently, and I'm seeing multiple places, so I didn't make this up in my head. There was a text that read from his phone to someone undisclosed that said it's almost done.
Dude killed his wife. Like, I feel sorry for Hot
Well,
Dog
I'm not
Guy.
laughing at what has happened, just Lauren's response and how she worded it.
He did. I felt like, but knowing what I knew too, with you giving the page part of it, and I will
Right.
say, um, I think people do hit on each other at the gym and maybe don't mean anything by it. But no, I mean, like, it's one thing if he went over there and said, "Oh, you're doing some awesome squats or something," but to say I don't have a wife and kids,
Yeah.
well,
So yeah,
yeah.
so those are my two stories to share today. Um, but yeah, sometimes the stories just come to you. You don't have to go out searching for them. So follow us. Like I said, I'm gonna keep looking at the Caleb Flynn story as I see new details come out and information. I'll definitely fill you in. But yeah, definitely curious to see where that goes. And I don't know if I have any more updates on the condom guy. I will.
Let's call
I
him
don't know a
Hot Dog
name.
Guy.
Hot dog.
He was upset about.
They were teetering over hot dog guy or condom guy.
If you're out there, Hot Dog Guy, just know that I'm here for you. I get it.
And if you want this story from its source, Allie Benevento on TikTok, like I said, she's a local attorney here in Richland. She's great, so please go follow her TikTok. I'm sure she'll update us on any more interesting stories. Although she did say the judge kept a straight face the whole time, and she said I think she was like the defense bar and others in the courtroom could not hold it
Oh, I
together
wouldn't
as
have.
well. But she did say that it was Judge C. Taylor, I think Christopher Taylor was the judge that day, and she said he very well kept a straight face, very good decorum for such
Good for him, because I would not.
allegations. So that's our episode for today. Follow us, like Lauren said, we're going to cover the America's Next Top Model series that just came out, and we'll see where we go from there.
Have a good week.
Bye.